Good morning people, hello and welcome to another vlog episode of the India Darshan travel series. So if you've seen the previous vlog, you will recognize this. I drove almost 450 kilometers from Jaipur all the way over to Udaipur, the city of lakes. And because it was a very long 11-hour journey, today I'm taking a chill day, mostly resting around. I just woke up actually, it's almost 11 a.m. so slept for like 12 hours, I would say, not that. I'm gonna go upstairs to the rooftop, grab some breakfast, and then the plan for the day is to give my clothes for laundry, get the Activa cleaned up, and it also needs a little bit of servicing. There's some noise coming out of it, so we're gonna find a shop to have that fixed and maybe just walk around nice and easy and try and avoid the heat for the most part of the day so I can cool off. So let's get started. So the neighbors are having a Rajasthani wedding. It's the traditional music, and there are a few other accommodations nearby. There's some high-end places as well, but this is the rooftop, and then there's another one over there. So I'm staying at Castle Pichola. This is next to the Pichola Lake in Udaipur. Let's go check out the view from up there. So I get the order for breakfast, gonna go down and pack my laundry in here and give it to the reception in the meantime. So that's the accommodation. It's called Castle Pichola, and usually it's all out in the open, but I guess I'm hiding behind a building to stay in the shade, but typically it's an exposed area and you have parking in front of the place. You just park your two-wheeler there. So I found two different service stations, one in the market and one the official Honda brand service station. So we're gonna go check out which one can give us the service at this time and have the vehicle service so that we can keep going with the ride. Ooh, the seat is very hot, extremely hot, 40 degrees I guess. So there's some palatial places there, high-end. Mine is more like a budget-friendly home. I think they have 7 rooms, 2 in the ground floor, 5 on the top, middle floor. And then above that is the rooftop. So I don't know if the mic is capturing this, but this crackling sound of the pipe is driving me insane now. So I'm gonna go get that fixed. So we're in some sort of a market street. Has a bunch of eateries, juice shops, snack shops, and lots of bike rental shops. Because of the narrow streets, it's easier to go around on a bike here than a four-wheeler. Last night I did see some four-wheelers, but they were stuck in a traffic jam. The owner said go left and then go straight. Okay. So asked around some locals and the owner as well. So got a few options for potential service sites, official and unofficial. So typically in India, if you go to the official service station, I'm sure it's the same elsewhere. The charges are quite high compared to the external shops like third-party service stations. But at least you get good quality, and since this Activa is new, I'm not risking it in the aftermarket. Gonna go directly to the Honda service station and hopefully they can help me out. Side of the lake is not that great, so yeah, it's a city of lakes. I think that's Lake Pichola. They're doing boating and stuff there, and I know there is another lake here. So today's plan, after I get this Activa service, is to just explore the lakes in the evening, and during the day I'm gonna go back to sleep. I haven't slept enough, it's just 12 hours. So I needed to feel like I'm on a holiday, so gonna sleep a little bit more. The owner gave very precise directions. He said keep going straight, you're gonna cross a mosque, which I did, and you're gonna enter a roundabout, which I am entering now, Subhash Choraya, and then we keep going straight. I really like the naming convention we follow.
So if it's a four-way crossing intersection, we call it a chauraya, which is like four, and chaur is like four. And then if it's a three-way intersection, we call it a tiraya, which is like three. Teen basically stands for three, so it's like borrowed from there, and it's easy to remember that way. One thing that still confuses me in Hindi is the direction, like right and left in Hindi is always messed up in my head. I mean, I know what's right, what's left, but if you start giving me directions in Hindi, especially while I'm driving in chaos like this, my brain just refuses to cooperate. So if you're ever giving me directions and you're my navigator, please use English directions so that I can navigate quickly. Oh, I'm seeing mangoes. Different variety from the one we get. But the one thing while traveling is I missed the one that they had in Mexico, especially in Huatulco, where Oaxaca actually, where they slice things up for you so you could eat it on the go. Here they give you mangoes, you bring home and you peel and dice yourself. Can't really do that when you're on the go. Or can you? Now I'm getting some ideas, but I don't want to make a mess. And in India, typically, especially in places like this, we use these kind of earthen pitchers. It keeps water much cooler than an actual fridge, and the taste of the water that you get while drinking from this is much sweeter. You've got to try it once in your life at least. This, and for the people that don't want an earthen pitcher, now we also have I think copper utensils, because copper infused water is good for your health. But mostly, especially in dry, hot regions, we use these kind of earthen pitchers. So they have these kind of like third-party repair and service showrooms along this road. I'm not yet seeing the official Honda showroom, and it's only these third-party guys. I can't even stop and ask them. Yeah, I have to. At least now it's not boiling. The wind is a little bit chill, so still don't mind driving around a little bit. But before it gets to 1 or 2 p.m, I want to be back in the room and doze off. That's a nice hill. This park and this viewpoint is shown as the sunset point, but I don't think anybody goes in there or it's actively maintained. Oh yeah, she's gardening, so it is being maintained, but I don't know people or nowhere to get in. Probably the heat. Maybe this is the entrance. Let's see, what's the name of the park? Golden Park. Okay, cool. Here it says Jungle Safari Park, Lake Pichola. They do jungle safari here? Or jungle? I have no idea they can do jungle safari here. Or maybe it's just a name. But yeah, it's by the lake, which is cool. So I'm also staying by Lake Pichola. So I just went Inky Pinky Ponky last night because I saw there were 2 lakes on the map. Called around a few places, picked the one that gave a reasonable offer, and then signed up for it. Now that's a great view of the lake, and that might be boating people. Let's see. Yeah, that's the Pichola Lake. Huh, cool. Like this view, and as you can see around the edges, there's like Haveli, like palatial big places that are hogging the lake view side, and then they have some social events and stuff in the evening. That's what they typically sell. And along this route there's a lot of temples as well. This looks like a nice park worth checking out when the weather is nice. Let's see, what's the name of this park? Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay Park, and there's also a ropeway that goes up there. Okay, that's interesting. Oh, we're going up there anyway. So it looks like we weren't going up there anyway. That was the dead end. I was confused as well, and so was Google. So we're going along the river on that side instead. But this is a cool place. Maybe we'll check it out. Oh yeah, that's the ropeway. 3 of those in a pair. I think they bring you up to that point, and then I don't know what you see from up there. Maybe some castle. Huh. It's nice how you're just casually going to a service station and then you're getting ideas for places to see. And here's the other side of the lake. And one thing interesting I was thinking yesterday, so Bhopal is also known as the city of lakes, and so is Udaipur. So we also have Upper Lake, Lower Lake, etc. in Bhopal, and then there's like Lake Pichola and some other lakes here in Udaipur as well. This one's some other lake. I don't know, does it say something? No, it doesn't say the name of this. Maybe it's more like a pond. A wedding procession. I never understood why the lead singer in a procession like this is always singing out of sync, and the volume is so loud I can barely make out one word from the other. So it's like all mangled up together, but it's fun to see the vibes and people having like fun and dancing and stuff. Maybe that does look like a wedding procession because of the white Marwari horse, but I'm confused because not very many people were dancing, so not really sure what was going on there, but it does look like a wedding procession. So gonna have to mute the audio because yeah, if Google is sensitive enough and it picks up the audio, I don't want to deal with copyrights and stuff. It's a pain in the ass. Okay, looks like we're heading some sort of a market. Should be straight up ahead somewhere at the end of the road on the right side. Vintage classic car collection and handicrafts collection. I wonder if I could go inside afterwards. The service station should be somewhere here. And there it is, Honda on the right side. So let's see, go in and ask how things work out here. Let me go.
So it turns out it was an easy and quick fix. There is a plate on top of the silencer that was shaking and making noise. So they just tightened the screws and I'll be on my way now.
So that was quick and easy. Actually, they have a full house today, and if I were to make the job card and go the like formal proceedings, they probably won't be returning the Activa today at all. Going through the proper chain sequence. So I'm just going to find another like a third-party source now because I just need washing done. That's the only thing remaining. Oh, and it feels nice, the sound is gone, so that's pretty cool. So it turns out there is a washing shop right next to the showroom. So the showroom was just a couple shops there. The local shopkeeper said go this way and you will find a washing station on your left. So let's keep an eye out for that. And then, where is it? Is that the washing station? It says repairing works. भैया धुलवानी थी, धुलवानी है.
Okay, so Activa is all ready now. It's all washed up, and I also found a shop where I got the tire pressure checked and stuff. And that guy was very friendly, uh, local shopkeeper, and we were just chit chatting. And they saw that I was a YouTuber, and we exchanged numbers. And if I ever needed a room, they offered a discounted pricing. So their friend has a hotel chain that's coming up soon. So they said if I ever needed something, or if any of my subscribers needed a place to stay in Udaipur, they could get us a discounted AC room. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, so had some shakes, mango shake and sapota shake because it's very, very hot now, and came to the vintage car museum. So gonna check out the cars. There's a 400 rupees entrance ticket, and there's also a restaurant here. So this is the restaurant. Even if you're coming only to dine in here, you still have to pay the entrance fees for 400 rupees. So I paid up. Now I'm gonna go in and check out the vintage cars. So it looks like they have a hotel and bar, restaurant and bar with some rooms up top. And this is the vintage and classic car collection. So this is the one kind of museum that I always try to go in. So I finally met up staff of the museum here, and they were telling me that all of these cars, they belong to the royal families. These are operational cars. Once in a month they're taken out, and during the festive season the royal family has like a proper procession and stuff for these cars. So it belongs to the current ruler's father and grandfather, so it's like a generational kind of heritage. And I'm kind of taking a tour, checking out the cars from early 1960s and 80s. Mostly I'm checking out Mercedes for now. Let's see what other cars they have in the collection. So the staff was just explaining the license plate convention. So RJ27 is one of the more modern series. The others are typically RJY and stuff. RJ is Rajasthan, Y was for Udaipur, and then the number for the car of the royal family. And this is like a more of the modern series, and they mentioned most of these cars were imported from Germany, especially the Mercs, because back in the day India did not have a manufacturing plant for Mercs, but now we do local manufacturing. But these are like heritage cars. Vintage Rolls Royce from the early 1930s.
ये अभी यूज करते हैं महाराणा साहब.
अच्छा, महाराणा साहब की गाड़ी है ये. So this is the oldest car in the collection, and as you can see from the sticker, it won an award in the US Pebble Beach as well. And the current Maharana's active ride of choice. The BMW Mini Cooper of back in the day. Looks really cool. This was used by the royal family for ferrying between the palace and the polo grounds. That's why it has that emblem in front, and there's a jeep and a trolley behind as well. This is a collection of the solar rickshaws, like e-rickshaws from the early 2000s. So they had a rally recently where Bhaiya was explaining they did about 1700 kilometers.
1700 किलोमीटर चला था 15 दिन.
They did 1700 kilometers in about 15 days. So this is one of the more modern segments of the collection. It was such a cool experience. It's a pretty big campus. There are things here on the exterior, then behind the cars and stuff, the trucks and jeeps, and some of them were also used by Queen Elizabeth, JFK in movies, both in Hollywood like James Bond movies, and in Bollywood by some celebrities during weddings or some movie shootings as well. So really enjoyed learning about them. I didn't put the entire story in here. I don't want to make this a documentary, but yeah, let's see what else we do next. So in this complex right there was the Vintage Car Museum, and right across the road here is this place known as Sajjan Nivas, and inside there is a bird park. So I just parked in here. I'm gonna go explore the bird park, see what birds we find in this heat.
The entire route is lined up with lush green trees on both sides. There's a lot of like shade on you, and the wind is really cool. It doesn't feel like you're in Udaipur melting in the heat anymore. Feels like you're suddenly on a hill station. And then like this, you have the rail tracks for the toy train, and the board sign reads not just for kids but also for adults. So if the kidult in you wants to hop on the toy train and do the tour around, that's a possibility. And the security guards were mentioning that you could go to gate number 3, the other entrance, which is the main station for the toy train. That's where it starts from, so you can hop on it and then go. But normally they probably have some schedule or something, and I prefer to walk inside and take in the cool breeze. And there's lots of like birds that, you know, chirp and sing every once in a while. I don't know if the GoPro is going to capture it, but one uncle mentioned that if you go along these tracks and turn left from there, there's this Navlakha Mahal, a sort of palace that you can see first, and then after that you're going to end up at the bird park. Those are the only 2 things I was told there is to see, other than the toy train, of course. So found the Navlakha Palace, and it's like a cultural heritage center inside. The entry ticket is 30 rupees, so that's reasonable. We're gonna go inside and check it out. That's the toy train in the distance. Looks pretty cool. Ooh, it stopped at the station. Let's get a closer look. Looks cool. There's even music playing. Anyways, the entry ticket to this place is just 26 rupees for Indian citizens, probably twice or thrice as much for foreigners. I took a snapshot of the pricing tickets. So this is the bird park, and in the Navratan Mahal we had like a volunteer walk us around, tell us the story about the culture of India and how it evolved, and then different stages from birth to death and so on and so forth. The movie that we saw was more about Prithviraj Chauhan, but that was more to teach people about the history and how battles were fought, etc. So let's check out what birds we find here. Oh look, there's an emu here, there's one right here, there's one sitting there. I guess they're just resting because of the heat. Those are the black ring-necked parakeets from India. The one at the farther end, there's a lot to say. This one's a curious soul, wants to come in the vlog, and this one is just grooming session ongoing. And there's one more down here. These are the budgies section. There's a lot of those making a lot of noise, budgies and parakeets. But yeah, there's also a section that says, yeah, sure, can I walk? Yeah, please, thanks. There's also a section that said blue and red macaws, but I didn't see any macaw parrots. There's the budgies that are stealing the show, making a whole bunch of noise. So yeah, this was... Ooh, I had no idea there was also a rose-ringed parakeet. The face of this is rose-colored, still has a ring. He's a little bit talkative, and that's the... that has a regular ring but not the face. These parrots are common in India, and our great-great-grandmas used to have those, and then if you feed them green chilies and blabber with them throughout the day, they learn to talk like humans. and some of them even pick up the swear word. So if a guest walks in, they start randomly swearing. And they have like a proper human tonation, so you can't even tell who the hell is swearing at you. That's an epic sight. Although I don't think these days you can have them in your house as a pet. Some people do have them, but depends. Maybe different states have different rules or whatnot. But yeah, that's the beauty of these ring-necked parrots from India. So I guess this is pretty much it there is to see here. I'm gonna take a breather and then come back out again in the evening to check out the lakes, especially the Lake Pichola that's close to my accommodation, and then we'll leave the rest for some other day. We still haven't started exploring Udaipur. As I said, today is like a casual, chill day, trying to avoid the sunshine as much as I can. See you after a short break. So I'm now standing next to a very generous soul. I met him at the Vintage Museum. Unfortunately, forgot to take him in the vlog at the time. Now I ran into him again, just casually walking on the streets trying to look for lunch. So I'm including him in the vlogs. Let's get to know him a little bit more. भैया अपने बारे में बताएं, म्यूजियम के बारे में बताएं.
सर मेरा नाम संजय तिवारी है
जी.
मैं गार्डन हॉल में जॉब करता हूँ एज RST रूम सर्विस ऑटो ट्रेकर.
अच्छा
सर आपसे मुलाकात हमारी विंटेज में हुई
जी.
तो मुझे बड़ी खुशी हुई
जी.
और दोबारा मुलाकात हुई इसके लिए मैं और अपने आप को शुक्रगुजार मैं ऊपर वाले की दुआ है तो आप मुलाकात हुई
जी.
तो आपको मैं मेरी होटल के बारे में थोड़ा सा बताना चाहूँगा
जी. तो ये गार्डन होटल एंड बार इज द सेम होटल इनसाइड द विंटेज कार म्यूजियम दैट आई शोड यू बिफोर. सो ही एक्चुअली वर्क्स देयर. जी
सर जो हमारा गार्डन होटल है जी यहाँ की रॉयल फैमिली का गेस्ट हाउस प्लस गैरेज हुआ करता था
जी
जब वो रूल करा करते थे. तो अभी उसको होटल में कन्वर्ट कर दिया गया जी. हमारे पास 29 रूम है, 2 कैटेगरी में है.
अच्छा.
और हमारे पास 2 रेस्टोरेंट है सर.
अच्छा. एक
ट्रेडिशनल वेज रेस्टोरेंट है जिसमें नो गार्लिक फूड सर्व करता है. The second one is a la carte multi-cuisine restaurant. We serve there traditional food and a la carte multi-cuisine, veg, non-veg, both are there.
Achha.
And we have bar also.
Achha.
We have royal bar.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Interesting.
Next thing is vintage car collection की एक खूबी बताना चाहूँगा
जी.
यहाँ 23 कार्स है. सभी कार की अपनी हिस्ट्री है. यहाँ की रॉयल फैमिली ने यूज की है. और एक बहुत बड़ी चीज बता रहा हूँ, एक रोल्स रॉयल है जिसका जो 1924 का है.
वो ओल्डेस्ट कार
जी सर.
वो देखी थी मैंने.
उसका नंबर है उदयपुर 1. वो सर कोलाफोर्निया में एक कंपटीशन था जिसमें फर्स्ट प्राइज विन किया. यस सर. सेकंड थिंग वही कार उदयपुर में जब महारानी एलिजाबेथ ब्रिटिश की 1954 में उदयपुर आई थी. उसी कार में उसको उदयपुर में लाया गया एयरपोर्ट से. अच्छा. उसी दरमियान एयरपोर्ट भी बना था सर. ये छोटी सी जानकारी मैं अपनी तरफ से देना चाहूंगा. और एक मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट, आप अपने लंच के बारे में पूछ रहे. हाँ जी. तो उदयपुर का एक फेमस रेस्टोरेंट है. थोड़ा सा गुजराती टच है लेकिन वो आपको ऑथेंटिक बढ़िया खाना मिलेगा. अच्छा. जिसका नाम है नटराज होटल. अच्छा. वो बाबू बाजार में है. अच्छा. आप एंजॉय कीजिएगा लंच. नाइस टू मीट यू अगेन. थैंक यू
सो मच भैया. आपको व्लॉग में लेने का मेरा बहुत मन था. And luckily I ran into him for the second time. So a quick summary of what he was explaining. So he was explaining about the hotel. They have 2 restaurants in there, and about the cars. So the one that I showed you before, the Udaipur one, the Rolls Royce, that was the oldest car that has won awards even in the US. So he was giving a quick recap of that, and he mentioned that hotel where I'm headed now. So I'm gonna go grab the Activa and let's check out lunch cuisine over there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
So tried finding the Natraj Hotel, found it in Bapu Bazaar, but unfortunately most of the shops are closed. Restaurants from 3 to 6 or 4 to 6, that window to prepare for dinner, so it was closed. So that's why I ended up eating at some local roadside Chinese eatery. The food was good, so I had a light meal because it was an odd hour to have a meal. And now I'm back at the Lake Pichola side. People are doing boating, so it's like 180 to 300 something rupees for like the big boats. You get a seat on it. Not a big fan of that, but we'll see if it's worth it or not. For now I'm just gonna chill here and maybe see if I can enjoy the sunset from this point.